GG guys, it's been real. This is the first round where we have unfortunately gone backwards in the rankings there, out to a 2022 season rank, down 578 spots. It was a pretty rough week in my side there. The team value actually went up a decent amount. A lot of my players did well, but also missed out on a lot of people actually playing. And then I did decide last minute, I ended up trading Fraser McGurk in, given I needed another player for last night's game to actually field 11, and that did include Sam Harper with his 0 coming into calculations there with Billings and also Paul Walter being out. So that was obviously pretty frustrating on that front, and I decided to remove Fraser McGurk and just grab an extra guy for this upcoming round in Josh Inglis, and that didn't obviously work out. Yeah, Fraser McGurk didn't go absolutely bonkers. I think 27 he would have picked up in the end, so lost a few of my head-to-head matchups, unfortunately. Got beat by Kane, got beat by Max in that one. Let's just look at his scoring there, which was absolutely incredible. Brought in Chris Lynn, amazing work from him there, and obviously Stoinis as well with his 96. He didn't actually score, he scored 2 points in that second game, so that helped out obviously a little bit, but did well with those guys there. The Maxwell captaining at 256 is just 251 is just incredible. Thank goodness I had him in that one. I did make a good trade in, but I didn't play him, so that was good. Thinking that the weather forecast changed so much, and it's very, very difficult, isn't it, for those that's playing BBL Supercoach with the weather forecast, with the rained out games, and you have to be very nimble, and then you have to just, a lot of time it's a 50-50 call, and if you're on the wrong side of that, you do miss out, and I end up being on the wrong side of this one here. Great trade-in of Chowdhury. Ended up getting 4 overs, which was amazing, but I didn't play him obviously there, and then didn't end up getting the scoring of Steckity. Finally got a wicket at the end there, and he is absolutely booted out of my side. I could not get him out any quicker, that's for sure. I do have an option actually, if I want to get rid of Harper with the trades that I'm looking at. Potentially, but we'll see how that looks out. But works out. But at the moment, Steckity is Gonski's. But we had some decent scores. Otherwise, I finally brought in Overton. He picked up a 26. That's just how it goes, isn't it? And then played Zampa in the end over Chowdhury. Ended up getting 6, and he's just absolutely bottoming out in price. And it's been a shocking season for him. And he's been all over the shop, hasn't he, with his bowling this year? Obviously started the World Cup pretty poorly, and then got into his work, and then just been very average since coming back into the BBL. Said he needed a rest. He got that game off, but hasn't been great since. Got a good score from Tommy Rogers last night, which was nice. He batted well, and he's been a pretty solid pickup, I'll say. The 8 in the first game wasn't ideal, but 55 overall, including last night's game, was helpful, obviously, in that week there. So. That's probably the main stuff on my side. We'll look at my trades in a second, but some of these guys, obviously, Maxi Bryden there, a lot of guys over 1,000, 1,100s, like incredible work from these guys. They're all well into the top couple of hundred. There's a bunch of guys there in this competition that are in the top 100, so congrats to them. I was just making that sort of one mistake each week, and now team value is a fair bit behind and playing a bit of catch up here. So we'll see how my team ends up going this week. And this is where we've ended up at this stage. So 32k in the bank. I do have an option to either go, I believe, Crawley or Andrew Ty, who I've brought in. I could bring in Jai Richardson as a potential option. I think I'll probably look at percentage ownership and make my decision that way, just because I do need to try and catch up a fair bit. But my hopes and dreams of winning the competition are well and truly gone after the last couple of weeks, that's for sure. So, but where we're at right now, I have 4 guys on the bye and only 1 guy I can loop, which, it is what it is this week. It's just how the cookie crumbled, having 5 stars and only scoring 3 of them. That's where I made my mistakes this year. It's just too many stars that didn't perform, unfortunately. Obviously, the 2 of those guys in Harper and obviously Steckity as well, which is a bit of a mistake there, which we'll learn from and be better for next year. But the 3 trade outs for me this week had to be Webster, had to be Sams, and Steckity is Gonski. So 3 coming in are Hardy, and I've got him as my captain at the moment. I think captaincy is obviously going to be a really, really big decision this week, and I might have to go the pod captain route, whether that's, if it's Hardy, if it's short, maybe I have to bring in Berendorf instead of Hardy to captain him, just to try and get a good score there, and catch up a couple of hundred on people. because it's going to be very hard to do a vice captain loop this week with the two teams being the strikers and obviously the scorchers there have the double, and there's a lot of good scorers in there, and you really wouldn't want to play any of your single game guys, especially a sixer or a heat as your vice, I don't think, or anyone after that in a Hobart player or a Renegades player. I just don't see that happening. So you're going to have to make the decision, and really anyone in that Scorchers outfit is going to be good. The guys and I brought in Crawley as well, as I said there. So any of those guys are going to be good. They're obviously the cheaper ones, the guys that I can afford, apart from Hardy. You got Berendorf, who's a great option as well, but comes up against the strikers in both games, which have a solid batting lineup, obviously up top with the shorts. Chris Lynn's been really good as well, so strike rate can be, economy rate bonuses can be a little bit tough, but he could also obviously blast through those guys. But at Adelaide Oval, at Optus, he obviously goes well at Optus, but Adelaide is a bit more of a batting track. So I'm expecting and hoping for a lot of runs, hence the reasoning for bringing in a lot of batsmen and having a lot of batsmen there. Overton's going to be at 5, the two shorts opening. I've got Crawley an opener. Connolly, not sure if he'll open, but we've got Hardy as number 3, we've got Inglis number 4. So sort of the top 4/5 from each of the teams, and that's where I'm hoping that things go well, is on the batting side, and that's just a bit of a punt, just because we have to there. Looping at this stage is going to be looping Walter, and if he goes well, I'm going to be losing Zampa, and he's going to switch with Maxwell there. I was trying to do some loops up here with Billings in the keeper slot, moving Josh Inglis up, but unfortunately it doesn't work as I have 3 guys on the bye up top. So yeah, unable to do that. So we move Walter down, and we're going to do it that way. You could probably muck around with things if I decide to get rid of Harper instead of Steckity there, but yeah, that's unsure at this stage. I'll have a further look and go from there. But yeah, that's where we're at the moment. Really, they're the guys you need. A lot of the Scorchers guys, Laurie Evans and stuff, it's going to be hard to pick up. It'll be interesting to see where Cooper Connolly ends up. Do they bring in an Eskenazi? Do you bring in Ashton Agar, who's obviously the cheapest of the bunch at 116? He's a guy that could have a really good sort of outbreak. And might be, I just can't see him going nuts though and really hurting you. Could be like 100 and 120 for his 2 games, which a lot of these guys could probably beat anyway. But it would be that if you don't have that extra amount of cash, then he might be the play. And then you're looking at strikers plays as well on their double. I think these are the 3 that you want. Other than that, there's not really too much that you want to be selecting in that squad. And then you're looking to round 7 as well, where obviously the Perth Scorchers have the double, but also the Hobart Hurricanes. So if you didn't have like a Chowdhury of Tim David's getting ridiculously cheap, I think he's in like high 60s or 70 right now. But guys like Ellis, guys like Riley Meredith, these are all options for sure. Corey Anderson's getting cheap. There's some guys that you can stash if you want to use a boost or something like that, but yeah, maybe you wait and use that next week. Could be the play there, but that's probably it, to be honest. With this video, apart from sort of going through those matches in round 5, but yeah, there was obviously a washout there, a shortened game in that previous one. So the Stars plays in that one, Maxwell going nuts, Webster just being really serviceable, and Dan Lawrence looking really good and getting some bowling as well. From the Renegade side, there's not really many that you want to be owning. I think Will Sutherland needs to go. For anyone who owns him, he probably was last week. That's one of the good decisions I had made. Him getting 40 last week and then 14 this week, not bowling himself. So I think he needs to go. Zampa, I'm just going to use as a loop now in round 7 when they have the bye. Tom Rogers as well, and the Quinton de Kock, just a bit expensive. Quinton de Kock, not so much anymore, but yeah, guys that need to be gone out of your side. If you're looking at Stars plays, you're probably going to have to hold 1 or 2. So Stoyan's probably a good hold on that front. Harper's is very, very cheap. Wasim, probably a solid one to potentially hold as well. But if you do grab Dan Lawrence, he could be one as well. I think Webster you have to trade out just based on price, and Maxwell I think you have to hold throughout the year. You could try to sell him and bring him back, but I think that might be a mistake. And then Hobart Hurricanes, a big score from Ben McDermott. Well done to him. He definitely becomes an option this week when his break-even's low, for sure. I had him for the first few games where he went terribly, and then this one he comes out and dominates. So well done to Ben and anyone who owns him. I brought in Chowdhury instead. But yeah, Tim David getting super, super cheap. 76 now, so it hasn't gone down too much on that one there. But yeah, that's where they're at, the Hobart Hurricanes. On the Thunder side, I think Samsy's one of those ones you might have to use his cash to get to a Hardy or something like that. So well done to him. He scored great over the last bunch of weeks. We'll likely get him back for round 9 when they have their double. TMV Sanger you could hold now, I think, as well. He's fairly cheap. Alex Hale's an easy one to hold as well. Good game from Chris Green at that. But yeah, they're the Hurricanes we're talking about. And then the Strikers and the Stars, exactly what I was talking about with the Adelaide Oval game. So 205, and then that got chased down against the Stars. So very much a batting wicket at that. And you saw some great scores from obviously Lawrence, Stoinis, Webster, and Maxwell. And then in the Strikers, you got Lynn short, Darcy short there. Jamie Overton got 19, unfortunately. So Adam Jose got a couple of runs as well. So yeah, bowling side of things wasn't great. Cameron Boyce bowled really well, and he had to bowl exceptional to get 63. He was the only one that didn't go for a heap of runs, so that was that in that one. And then only a wicket to Paris and Rochichola as well. So yeah, look to batters, I think, in those matchups there, and yeah, hopefully just hope that it's a high scoring game. If you're getting a mixture of bowlers and bat, then I think you got to get some low scores in there. So just pick all the ones. I think they're going to be low score games and go bowlers, or think they're going to be high scoring and go batters will be the way I'm playing it. So good luck for you with the round 6. We have the 4 rounds to go. I'm hoping for a nice bounce back week, and getting back into the top sort of 1500 would be ideal. And my goal now is just to hit in the top 1000. So we'll see how that plays out, and I wish you all the best of luck heading into this round.